Welcome back, everyone. This is Hollywood Purgatory. I'm Jeffrey Harris, 411 Mania. On the other end of the line is Jay Snook of the Good Men Project. Say hi, Jay.
Hello, everybody.
Hey, and you know what? First of all, I just want to thank the people who have been watching our podcast.
Mhm,
we're not a big channel. We're not a big major
mhm.
channel, with millions of subscribers. And so the
Yes,
people
yes.
that
Mhm,
have been tuning in,
mhm.
thank you. Um, to
And
YouTube,
those
yeah,
who haven't, you can find us on. We have a Facebook page. We
yeah,
do have a YouTube page. I post the stuff on Tumblr, on Twitter.
right.
So it's on like different places. And like I said, on our Facebook page, you can go on there. All of our episodes are on there. I put them all on there immediately after we do them.
Mhm.
So that's a great place to follow us. And I think we're actually on Twitter too. I did do a Twitter page as well.
But the reason I'm mentioning this now is because we've recently been notified that Google is going to be terminating our monetization rights for our channel because we just don't have the subscribers, we don't have the viewers, and look, we're not really doing this for the money. I mean, we're doing this because we like it, because we have fun doing it, and this is what we're passionate about. But still, I think we were both a little blindsided, I think, by Google's notification, and I don't really think it's fair because I mean I have had videos that have gotten thousands of views in the past, so I don't really feel it's appropriate to just to do that. But look, Google, they're a big company and they can run it how they want.
Mhm.
And here's what I'm gonna say: we probably won't shut down the channel, but we probably won't be doing the podcast on YouTube and Google Hangouts for much longer. We've mainly been doing it here because it's easy. Look, it's easy to just do the Hangout and set it up live, and then get it archived on YouTube. It's very easy to do. It's
Mhm.
simple, but going forward, I think later in the year, I don't think we'll be doing new editions on YouTube, Google Hangout.
Mhm.
I think we're going to be looking for an alternative, just because I don't really like the way YouTube and Google has been treating us, and
Mhm.
I think to just kind of blindside us with that monetization termination, I think it was a little rude and quite
Mhm.
frankly unfair.
So
We're not.
people, if you have any idea of other options, we'd love to hear
Yeah,
them too.
yeah,
The
yeah.
options we
But
could use that might be better.
other than that, we'll probably be doing some research and looking up some ways we
Mhm.
can, you know, keep doing our podcast. We're going to keep doing it, but we probably just won't be doing the new live episodes on YouTube. But we'll keep all of our old content, all of our previous episodes and content on here. But so that's just a little housekeeping I wanted to get out of the way. And again, people have been watching our show. So the people that have been watching, you're awesome. Thank you.
Mhm.
All right.
Mhm.
All right, so now that that's out of the way, Jay, have you ever played the Duke Nukem video games?
I played the Duke Nukem 3D way back when on the
Okay,
computer. I did play that one, but that's the
so
only one I
you
played.
know what Duke Nukem is, right?
Yeah, basically it's the one I played. I remember it being actually it was mature, of course, and it was
Right,
definitely like kind of a harder core, like,
a first-person shooter video game, right?
yeah. And what that one basically was I think it was like aliens come and Duke Nukem
Right,
pretty much takes them out in the most
right,
brutal way possible, basically.
like a big macho hero shoots up a bunch of evil aliens trying to take over the world, right?
Yeah,
Simple stuff.
basically, basic
All
gist.
right, all right, basic gist of it. So, what do you think about a Duke Nukem movie?
My only problem with that is really Hollywood has never really gotten a movie based on a video game right. Not
Right?
really. I mean, the closest they got was the first Silent Hill movie was really good, although that's what I heard anyway. I
Yeah.
saw it, I liked it, but I think that's the only one out of
What about
all
the
of the.
first Mortal Kombat movie?
Well, yeah, okay. To be fair, that was good. The sequel was was atrocious, but sure, the first one
The
wasn't
first Mortal
bad.
Kombat was okay-ish,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. It was okay-ish. I give you that.
For a video game movie, that's practically a Best Picture winner for it to be kind of
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, but that one is okay-ish. But the first Silent Hill movie was actually good. But I think that's
And
the only movie I can
Warcraft,
think of.
yeah.
No.
All right, all right. So what do you think? What do you think of the idea? So let me pitch you this concept. WWE superstar John Cena. If you don't know who that is, he was one of the boyfriends in Trainwreck with Amy Schumer. He's in that new movie Blockers coming out about the parents.
Terrible. Yeah. It looks
You know
really
what I'm
bad.
talking about. And he
Yeah.
was the voice of Ferdinand the Bull in the movie Ferdinand. So here's what
And you're forgetting he was also in both of the Daddy's Home movies.
Daddy's Home. He was in another one with Tina Fey, I think. Right? He's been in a few movies.
Yeah, like it was like Whiskey Foxtrot or something like that maybe. Was that
No, it was no. Sisters. It was Sisters with Tina Fey and Amy Poehler.
I forgot he was in that.
Yeah, he was in that. So here's the pitch. John Cena, WWE superstar, WWE world champion, globally renowned superstar, and now movie star. He is in talks to star in the Duke Nukem movie. Jay, is this huge or what?
Well, here's the thing. Honestly, and people probably won't like me saying this, but I don't think he's that great of an actor. He's okay.
What?
That's it's what I think. Okay. Most of I've seen him in, he was all right in the first Daddy's Home at the end, but the second one, but that wasn't his, like, I think what's really happening in John Cena, really, to be perfectly honest, is he's just taking roles that aren't doing him much justice. Like, when he was in Trainwreck, he was just kind of a weird supporting character there just for laughs.
Right.
When he was in him in Blockers, which to me this year looks just like a really bad movie in general, with or without him. And so I think he's just so far, like, really, if I'm really being honest, most of I've seen him in, he just is just okay and kind of forgettable. I forgot he was in Sisters.
Okay.
I forgot he was in that. So being in this could be good, but it also could be bad. And if it's bad, it's not his fault. Because, like I said, most movies based on video games just aren't good regardless.
Well, look, John Cena is one of the biggest, like, stars on the planet. In terms of popularity in the WWE, he's probably only second to The Rock or maybe Stone Cold Steve. I mean, you know who The Rock is. He's a huge star now.
And The Rock has been hit or miss. He was good in Jumanji, but he's been hit or miss too. He's been in bad stuff too.
All right, but but Rock is, like, he's a bankable star now. He's bankable, and I think John Cena is trying to become the same thing. Now here's the story. I want to just go over the story. This is serious because it's in the major trades, it's in Variety, it's in Hollywood Reporter. So that means it's at least in the works, and it could be very close to happening. So let's just go over this. I'm going to unpack this a little bit.
Okay.
From Boris Kitt in Hollywood Reporter, John Cena and talks to star in Duke Nukem. This is today, so this is like breaking news.
Okay.
John Cena is getting ready to shoot up some aliens. The wrestler turned actor is negotiating. Hey, this is Hollywood Report. Hollywood Reporter doesn't check their grammar. How do you like that?
Crazy.
That's a little funny, don't you think? Sorry. It's just constructive criticism, Hollywood Reporter. Is in negotiations to star in Duke Nukem, a big screen adaptation of the popular video game franchise featuring the politically incorrect action hero that is set up at Paramount. Just so you know, Jay, Paramount produced the first two Tomb Raider movies with Angelina Jolie, if that tells you anything. Also the Transformers movies. Platinum Dunes, the company run by Michael Bay. Andrew Foreman, Brad Fuller will produce. No director on board. A search for a writer will begin soon to develop a script for what is intended to be a starring vehicle for. Okay, so there's not even a script yet. So this isn't very far along. Previously set up at Dimension Films, but the rights lapsed. Paramount picked up the movie rights from Gearbox Software, the company behind the games. So Cena has quietly made Paramount his de facto movie home, having appeared in the studio's Daddy's Home 2. Oh, it says Daddy Home 2. Hollywood does Hollywood Reporter not have editors? Do they not have proofreaders?
Maybe not. I don't know.
This is Hollywood Reporter, Jay. Doesn't that surprise you? The movie's called Daddy's Home 2, right?
Yeah.
It's Daddy's Home and Daddy's Home 2.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I didn't mean to I mean, come on. It's Hollywood Reporter. Don't you think that's a little odd?
It's a little odd, yes. I agree.
Okay. Cena has quietly made Paramount his de facto movie home, having appeared in the studio's Daddy's Home 2, which has grossed over $100 million domestically. His next movie is going to be Bumblebee, the spinoff to the Transformers movie, and that's due out later this year. So yeah, that's another bit. He's going to be in Bumblebee.
What is he going to be in that, I wonder?
We don't know. We don't know his role yet, but apparently it's he's going to have a major role in that film. So he's in that movie. So do you think John Cena has the potential to become a movie star comparable to The Rock?
I think if he chooses his roles more carefully, yes. But lately, I don't think he's been doing that, to be honest. So he would have to, because what the Rock did or started doing, even in the beginning, was there were some movies he did that looked but he did some that really were like amazing roles. Like even when he was in the second G.I. Joe, he was actually pretty good in that. So he's done some movies where he has been really good and he's really helped the film. And like I said, in the new Jumanji, he was great in that. That was probably one of his better roles I've seen in a while. So if John Cena starts to pick his roles more carefully, then yes, he could be. But he'd have to start being a bit more choosy with his roles.
But Bumblebee that's a big film, and he's had success in small supporting roles so far. In Trainwreck, in the Daddy's Home films, this could be, now that he's got a major role in Bumblebee, that could be his transition into stardom.
Maybe. I mean, he was good. Like I said, he was good in Daddy's Home 1 at the end. He wasn't bad in Trainwreck. He was all right. But again, and like I said, I don't even remember what he was in Sisters. I can't remember what he was.
He was like a drug dealer.
Oh, really? Yeah.
That's another support. He had like lots of tattoos and stuff.
Yeah, that one was forgettable. So, but I don't know. Like I said, he could be. I mean, we'll see. Meantime, we'll tell.
All right. So based on what you know about Duke Nukem, do you like that? Do you think that casting makes sense? Can you see him as Duke Nukem?
I probably could, but if they did Duke Nukem a movie, it'd have to be rated R. It'd be too weird if they did PG-13.
Right.
So if they do a Duke Nukem movie, it has to be rated R. It just has to be.
The other thing is, John Cena, most of his audience are young kids. His biggest fans are young kids, so that might be hard to put him in a lead role of an R-rated film, and you can't have like the little John Cena fans who watch him in WWE go and see it. But I think the other problem is, do you think a Duke Nukem movie can even work in I guess in this time we're in, where, I mean, let's be honest, the game is very edgy, it's very politically incorrect, and it's kind of outrageous with its content. Do you think that can still fly in this day and age?
I don't know, because let's think. When they did 3D, that one was really good. I don't remember if 0 Hour did that well, did it?
The last one was like it did not do well. It was highly, like, critics hated it. It was basically a flop.
So the problem I see with doing this movie right now is it'd be like if they did like a Pac-Man movie. If they did a Pac-Man movie, it'd be like Pac-Man isn't really that big right now. It's really not. I mean, it's something that's been around forever and fans know about it, but Pac-Man isn't that big right now. So like it'd be like, so it sounds like Duke Nukem is in the same boat where it's like it's not that big right now. So trying to do a movie on something that isn't that big right now would be a little weird. Like doing the Tomb Raider this year makes sense because the new Tomb Raider a while ago. So if the game got redone, it's not crazy to.
They re-released the original. They re-released the original, but the last new one was Duke Nukem Forever in 2011, and it was a bomb.
Okay,
and it was like one of the most hated games of the year, basically.
Okay, so with those facts, I think right now is not the time to do this movie. Now, if they did a good game, then they could ride the wave of that and do a movie and probably do just fine. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean, but I think if you're doing a video game movie, you can't really always coincide with the game because, look, if you do a big video game movie, you're already taking a big risk, because look at what were the last two really big video game movies before the new Tomb Raider one they're doing? It was Warcraft and Assassin's Creed, right?
Yeah.
You saw both of those films, right?
I didn't see Assassin's Creed, but I heard it was atrocious. I heard it was atrocious. I heard I didn't miss out anything.
Assassin's Creed was atrocious, and they have like a new Assassin's Creed game almost every year.
True. And then
and most of them are pretty
okay, but it didn't really blow my mind either.
Warcraft, they have like a new expansion, like
every year or 6 months.
Yeah, but I think some of the Warcraft fans like the movie, but that movie didn't really find a wide audience.
No,
probably outside of the gamers and internationally, because I think overseas Warcraft is a lot more popular, like especially in Asia where MMOs are really popular. So when you make a movie like this, you're already taking a big risk because there aren't a lot of successful video game movies. I mean, we talked about the first Mortal Kombat. That movie came out in 1995. How many years ago is that?
Yeah, that was a lot of years ago.
That's over 20 years ago. The first Tomb Raider movie with Angelina Jolie was successful. It didn't get good reviews, but it was successful. That movie came out in 2001. Okay, so that's just off the top of my head. The Silent Hill movie didn't really do that well. They made a second one, but I think that one did even worse.
And they've done like 7 Resident Evil movies. I heard they're already redoing that because they
do you even like those Resident Evil movies?
I only saw the first one, and I wasn't a big fan because it was a prequel.
Right. It's not even a real prequel. It's like a quasi prequel.
Well, but I mean, like they did like 6 or 7 of those every year for a while, and now they're redoing that series again because.
All right, but I think here's what I would say to do for Duke Nukem. Keep it low budget. Keep it like 50, 60 million. Make it like Deadpool, kind of make it like that. And I think maybe you could make it R-rated, of course. I think you'd have to kind of take some inspiration from what Deadpool did, and I think maybe they could sort of have something. I think you can't with Duke Nukem. I don't think you can take it too seriously because it's really just over the top.
Well, they even had it Duke Nukem 3D. They had you could go in the Enterprise. Did you know that?
I remember.
And it was funny because it was like an adult Enterprise. It had like the really ready room, and it had like all this like beer everywhere. It was funny.
There was a lot of like the Duke Nukem series. It started in 1996, and you really didn't see that type of adult sort of content in video games very much at the time. So it was sort of groundbreaking, revolutionary for that. But now it's more common to kind of see just kind of like that kind of adult content in video games. It's more readily available. I think you would just have to sort of play up how absurd and ridiculous it all is. But so we don't know if this movie's even going to happen, but it looks like John Cena might become attached. All right, so here's this other business I wanted to talk about. There's this project. I call it. I'm not ready to call it a movie, but they're calling it Son of Dundee. And Danny McBride, the actor and comedian, who was just in Alien Covenant last year, it's being presented as a movie starring Danny McBride as the long-lost American son of Crocodile Dundee. You remember Crocodile Dundee, right, Jay? You've probably seen it. Crocodile Dundee.
The first one way back when, but yeah, that's the only one I saw. I didn't see the sequel or the newer one they did.
There were two sequels. One.
Yeah, there was one they did like 10, 15 years ago or something. Right?
It was more than 15 years. It was also in 2001, where he goes to Hollywood.
Okay.
It was not good.
Mhm.
So basically, it's being presented as a movie. Danny McBride and Thor, Chris Hemsworth,
Mhm.
apparently in this, I'll say movie, quote unquote, called Son of Dundee, or Dundee, the son of a legend, returns home.
Mhm.
What the heck is what the heck is this, Jay? Do you think, is this some elaborate hoax, or is this a real movie?
I think it could be a real movie. It wouldn't surprise me if it was, to be honest.
Um, some rumors have suggested this is some sort of elaborate Super Bowl ad campaign
Hmm.
or a Super Bowl hoax to coincide with Super Bowl Sunday coming up on in February 4th. What do
Hmm.
you think?
I don't know. I mean, here's the thing with Danny McBride. He likes doing movies like this. He likes doing weird stuff like this. So it wouldn't surprise me if he was doing something like this. I don't think it's a hoax, to be honest.
So you think this is a real movie,
I think so.
and
I wouldn't be surprised.
it will really, like a real actual feature movie, will get made?
I think so. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me.
Uh, what do you think of the idea of Chris Hemsworth playing opposite Danny McBride in like a comedy sequel to Crocodile Dundee?
Well, I think what's weird is in the teaser I saw, it looks like Chris Hemsworth is trying to be a straight man, which I don't know if that's always a good idea. He did that in the new Ghostbusters. He was just kind of a weird, dumb guy, and I
He
didn't
wasn't
really
the
like him
straight
in
man
it.
in that movie at all.
No, he wasn't. He wasn't really that great. He wasn't that funny. He was just weird and awkward. So I don't know if it's a good idea for him to be in this.
Did you see him in that Vacation sequel they did a while back?
Yeah, he was okay in that, but again, not mind blowing.
I didn't think he was that funny in that either.
He wasn't really.
The one with Ed Helms, that
Yeah,
was,
yeah, yeah. Yeah, the movie itself wasn't bad, but he wasn't that funny in it.
you
No.
know, what if this is going to be kind of like that? Kind of like a reboot, like a reboot slash sequel.
Yeah.
Could you see it turning out like that film?
I could definitely. It wouldn't. It really wouldn't surprise me if it happened. It looks like Danny McBride will do almost anything. He doesn't even have a problem with doing that. And he could make it fun, but Chris Hemsworth, I don't know. We'll see.
All right. So, what do you make of all the new movie trailers we've been getting in the last few days? Because you know the Super Bowl Sunday is coming up, so a lot of film studios are kind of this is when they're kind of ramping up their promotion for, you know, the spring and summer. So we got that new Tomb Raider trailer
Mm-hmm.
with Alicia Vikander playing Laura Croft, or Lara Croft,
Mm-hmm.
and I wouldn't say it looks great, but maybe it will be okay. What do you think of
Yeah,
what
I think it'll be
we've
fun
seen?
enough. I think it'll be a fun enough film, to be honest. Because it's going to be a different Tomb Raider, like the newer games, and those games got real good praise. I haven't had a chance to play them, to be honest, but they got
Right,
really
but
good praise.
right.
So I think redoing this series in that style is not a bad idea, and I think it'll be fun. I'm not going to say it's going to be mind blowing, but it looks like it could be one of the first movie films based on a video game in a while that might actually try to
Not
follow the source.
suck. It might
Yeah,
not suck.
try to follow the source material pretty closely. So
We'll
I think it
see,
has
but I
potential.
think Vikander looks really good. She looks really like
Mm-hmm,
she looks like she's taking it seriously, you know?
mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah.
And the new Tomb Raider games, they were serious games. You know, they were really, they
Mm-hmm.
were darker, they were grittier, they were more serious, and it looks like she's taking the role. She looks like she got in crazy shape for that film too.
Yeah,
Like,
we're going to speak about trailers. I've seen a lot of trailers so far that come
yeah,
up for this year that look really, really bad. But recently, just yesterday,
yeah.
I saw two trailers that actually did kind of surprise me. One was, I think, called like Dear Dictator or something like that with Michael Caine.
Oh,
That actually looks kind of interesting. It looks like it'll be a little different, but it's got Jason Biggs, it's got Michael Caine in it. It actually doesn't look bad. I'm like, you know what? This might not be a bad movie. It looks a little silly, but it's definitely different.
that
And
looks
then,
like a smaller film, a much smaller film
but
though.
it still doesn't. It's the first movie in a while for next year. Besides, of course, like Ready Player One and some of
Yeah.
the big ones. So I'm like, it actually might not be a bad movie. Then I saw a trailer yesterday called "The Female Brain" that looks kind of interesting.
What about but what about Ready Player One and Black Panther and the new stuff they've been releasing for that film?
Yeah, Ready Player One. I still need to read the book, but the movie I'm very, very
Yeah,
excited for.
I'm talking about the movies. So we've been seeing new.
Yeah,
They've
yeah.
been
I mean that new trailer where he's in the DeLorean
yeah.
is just awesome. I mean that's just awesome. He's
I think
driving
that
around
looks
the
great,
DeLorean.
and I think Black Panther is going to be
I do.
super
I do.
sick. I mean, each like all the new TV spots we've been seeing,
Mhm.
like I just get more excited.
Well, you know what they did today too? They actually showed
Yeah,
some drawings for some new characters for Incredibles 2. They look pretty awesome.
I saw. Yeah, okay, yeah, I saw that.
Mhm.
So they introduced a whole new group of characters.
Mhm.
Actually, I have that. I have the artwork right here.
Mhm.
So okay, so the Incredibles 2.
Mhm.
So here's what we know. Helen Parr, Holly Hunter is coming back as Helen
Mhm.
Parr, Elastigirl. Craig T. Nelson is back as Bob Parr, Mr. Incredible.
Mhm.
Sarah Vowell is back as Violet Parr.
Mhm.
Um, uh, let's see. Huckleberry Huck Milner is voicing the son Dashiell.
Mhm.
Samuel L. Jackson is back as Lucius, aka Frozone. Brad Bird, of course, is
Mhm.
back as Edna Mode. Here are the new characters. Winston Dever,
Mhm.
Bob, who's voiced by Bob Odenkirk. You know Bob Odenkirk, right? He was in
Yes.
Disaster Artist, Better Call Saul.
Mhm.
He's Saul in Better Call Saul.
I've seen some other stuff, but yeah, I know
So
him.
he plays Winston. I don't know if I'm saying this right, but it's spelled Dever.
Mhm.
A world-class telecommunications company leader alongside his genius sister Evelyn,
Mhm.
ultra wealthy, savvy, and suave. Winston goes big in everything he does, including his infatuation with
Mhm.
superheroes. Big. He has been a supporter of supers returning. All he needs is a hero or three to help him change public perception and bring them back into the spotlight.
Mhm.
His sister is voiced by Catherine Keener from. She was the mother in Get Out, by the way.
Mhm.
She plays Evelyn, the brilliant brainchild behind her brother's communications company. Knows her way around tech, loves tinkering with tech. Da, da, da. Jonathan Banks is the new voice of Rick Dicker. He was that government agent guy from the first one.
Mhm.
Was voiced by Bud Lucky, so he has a new voice actor now.
Mhm.
Heads up the official super relocation program,
Mhm.
helps the Parr family keep their identity secret.
Mhm.
And Void is voice of Sophia Bush, a young, overeager wannabe super and a mega fan of Elastigirl.
Mhm.
Here's the plot. The supers find an advocate and a dignified foreign ambassador, voice of Isabella Rossellini, who is committed to the support and legalization of superheroes. So basically, where we left off at the end of the first film, it was sort of like the supers had gone into hiding for many years, and
Mhm.
basically being a superhero became illegal. And now I guess they're trying to legalize superheroes in the world.
And I
So,
thought I heard, and I
yeah.
thought I heard too. This movie was going to focus a little bit more on Elastigirl, and they're going to have Mr. Incredible just be at home, like dealing with Jack's new powers. That's what I thought I heard today.
Well, let's see. Here's what it says. Elastigirl hung up her supersuit to raise the family with husband Bob, leaving their crime-fighting days behind them. When she's tapped to lead a campaign to bring the supers back into the spotlight, she finds she can still bend, stretch, and twist herself into any shape needed to solve the trickiest of mysteries. In short, she's still got it. That's good news too, because a new villain is emerging, unlike any they've seen before.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
And I think John Ratzenberg is going to be back as the bad guy, the Digger, or whatever he was called, something like that.
No, he was called the Underminer. The
Undermine.
Underminer.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so here's what it says for Bob. Ever since supers were outlawed, Bob has been mostly lying low, raising the family alongside his wife Helen. But when she's called on to stretch her super skills and hopefully change the public perception of supers for the better, Bob must manage the household on his own, which calls for a completely different set of powers. So
Mm-hmm.
here's the basic gist of it. They're starting like a campaign to re-legalize superheroes, and they want Elastigirl to be the face of the campaign. Meanwhile, Bob has to stay at home and deal with Jack's new superpowers. So I don't think it's mainly going to focus on her. I think it's probably going to be the dynamic of I guess Elastigirl being the face of the superhero campaign, and maybe Bob is going to be jealous of that.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. We'll see. They don't really mention who the new villain is, but what did you think of the new artwork?
I liked it. I think it looked pretty cool, and it's. I think it's safe to say this will be a good sequel because they taken their time on the sequel, which is good. I like when they do that. So I'm not.
They took their time. This is coming out 14 years later.
Mm-hmm.
14. It's been 14 years since Incredibles.
Yeah, but like I said, it's a good thing. Take your time. Don't rush a sequel, and I think it will be very good. It'll be a big hit, I think.
We'll see. I mean, they never said no to the idea of a sequel. I mean, they always said if we have a good story to tell with a sequel, we will. It's weird though because like there were big superhero movies when the first one came out, but now it's like every big movie is like a superhero film now. So it's going to be.
But still, Marvel usually only gets them right, and DC's still working on it.
Right, but I mean, they're not the only ones. I mean, look, we have Deadpool, the Deadpool series. We have X-Men going on right now, and all those spin-offs.
Isn't X-Men in no, it's X-Men DC or it's X-Men Marvel?
It's Marvel, but they're produced by 20th Century Fox and not Marvel Disney.
True.
All right.
So moving on to movie news.
No, not yet. Not one more thing. So we have not gotten a trailer for Solo yet. What is going on?
We're supposed to get it on Wednesday, is what I've heard.
I've heard the same thing, but like, I mean, the movie's like 4 months. It's 4 months away now. Why haven't we seen anything yet?
Well, we saw the picture, but that's all we've seen so far.
The picture was just a logo, and the product and like that group photo of the cast. That's it. I mean, do you think? Do you think there's anything to be made of that we haven't seen anything yet for the film?
Maybe they're just making. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it hasn't had as much of a market campaign as like Rogue One did, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing, in my opinion.
I'm just I'm a little concerned. I'm not saying it's going to bomb or anything. I'm just concerned that we haven't seen anything out of the film yet, and we're already we're 4 months out. We haven't gotten anything. We haven't heard any confirmation we're getting a trailer, but whatever. All right, moving on. So the first movie we'll go over that we both saw was 12 Strong. Right. So we both saw. I mean, that movie just came out. It did okay at the box office, considering it was a January release, and most of the films that have been coming out this month, not great. But this film I didn't think was great either. But I went in with low expectations, and I was pleasantly surprised. What about you, Jay?
Yeah, me too. I was pleasantly surprised. It's an interesting premise where it's basically right after 9/11 happens. Right. Some guys go, you know what? We need to get those bastards now. Pretty much. A number of them go Chris Hemsworth's character basically is like, you know what? I want to go back into the army now, and he had just gotten out and get his team back together to try to get those responsible for this. And it's an interesting film. It's a different kind of war film.
It's the first special forces team that went into Afghanistan after 9/11. So this means they're trying to take the Taliban out of Afghanistan because the idea is Osama bin Laden and the Taliban, Al Qaeda attacked the U.S. On 9/11. We believe they're operating in Afghanistan. They're operating out of Afghanistan. We have to, we have to overtake Afghanistan and get them out of there. So this is the first team of the American military that went in there in an effort to, I guess, basically defeat the Taliban and take the government away from them.
And it's kind of cool because you get to see some of the political climate there around that time period. It takes place in 2001, 2002.
It's all 2001.
And it's got Chris Hemsworth. I want to say Michael Pena. Is that his name?
Pena. Yeah.
Pena. He's
Michael
in it.
Shannon. Michael Shannon. He's in it.
It's got a good cast. It's actually a pretty good story. It's a little over the top at some parts.
Yeah.
But it's also interesting in the fact that it was really cool with how bad things were then. that they all made it home safe and sound, which I was actually
Well,
pretty impressed. I was expecting
I'm sure some of it was exaggerated.
maybe, but I was personally surprised where it's like, hey, they actually all survived their mission when they easily could have been taken out like that. Because again,
Look,
in
it's a
that climate,
movie.
even nowadays, they're not like, yay, Americans, it's so great you're here. We love you're here.
It's a movie, you know, I'm sure there was a lot of exaggerated I don't know what to separate from fact from fiction of the movie, but what I will say is that, like, I thought it was well directed. I thought the action looked really good. I thought, like, okay, you have a solid cast here. Chris Hemsworth, he is a good performer. Like, he has like presence and magnetism, and what I mean by that, when he's on screen, like, you pay attention to him. Like, you're not like, just get the hell out of here. Like, you want to listen to what he's saying. But let me finish. That Georgian accent was not working, man. Like, he cannot do a Georgian accent to save his life. That's what he was trying to do, but he couldn't do it convincingly.
I thought that what was interesting about this film was it is a little over 2 hours, but it didn't really drag on to me, which was
it felt good, and that's why I was like pleasantly surprised by the film. Like it had good pacing, and like okay, like I didn't go in expecting a lot. I didn't really have any expectations for it. I'm like, okay, I like for the 2+ hours I watched that, I was engaged the whole time.
And one has to remember, right now, Hollywood does a lot of movies based on true stories and based on war experiences. So this isn't something you've never seen before, in the sense of its genre. But this story hasn't been told before.
No.
And, you know, I would honestly give this movie an 8 out of 10 easily, because I enjoyed it. This was good. This was a good film. This is a film I think is worth paying to see.
I would give it a 7 out of 10 or a 7.5, just because there were some moments I thought were a little predictable, and I thought, like, even though it's based on a true story, like, they were clearly borrowing like subplots and beats from other films. It reminded me. Do you remember the film with Mark Wahlberg, Soul Survivor? That was
I didn't get a chance to see that one.
That was another military movie based on a true story, but it, you know, about, you know, during the War on Terror. This was more around 2005 though, and I think that one, I want to say, was set in Iraq. But look, I don't want to get all political about this, because look, the whole situation in the Middle East, it's more complicated than what this movie depicted. The whole situation. But this is about, okay, 9/11 just happened. Soldiers in the military saw this, you know, you know, they want retribution, and the belief is, look, we just got badly attacked by terrorists, and we have to do something about it. We have to go there and stop this from happening again. And I think anyone can kind of understand that. And I think no matter how you feel about, like, the war on terror or war on Iraq, you know, I mean, to me, there's something to be said about, you know, our fighting men and women who will put themselves in harm's way in order to protect you and me. You know, you understand what I'm saying here, Jay?
I do.
And I think those stories need to be told, and I'm very glad this story was told. I mean, even if it was embellished, I think this was a story worth telling. Would you agree?
Yeah, it was one of the better films I saw last week. That's for sure.
Okay, so the other one that came out that I think did fairly okay was Lionsgate's Den of Thieves. I didn't see that one, so go ahead and take it away. This one had Gerard Butler, and it's kind of like a heist film, right?
Yeah, I personally really didn't like this film, just because it was really long, it was really boring, it was over the top ridiculous action. And you know,
like Olympus Has Fallen, maybe?
Yeah, or like London Has Fallen.
See, I like Olympus Has Fallen, but not London Has Fallen.
Yeah, I didn't like that movie either. And it just was like, it was very predictable, it was expected. The only thing that really saved face of the movie was the ending. That gained a little bit of, like, you know, favor for me, because I didn't see it coming. It was a lot like Usual Suspects in that respect. You know, the person who you thought was like this, like, little puppet was really the mastermind. So that was kind of cool, kind of little nice surprise there. But the movie was longer than it needed to be. That's for sure. And like I said, just for me, like, I don't
It was
hate action.
140 minutes. It was 2 hours and 20 minutes.
Yeah,
How could it be
and
that long?
it just didn't need to be, really. There was parts that could have been cut out. There were subplots that didn't make a whole lot of sense.
Ugh.
Gerard Butler was okay in it, but it wasn't his fault in this one. It just wasn't that great of a movie to get to, on the get-go, to be honest. And it just, for me, I don't like over-the-top ridiculous action movies. I like action movies, but they have to have some brains attached. They can't just be shoot, shoot, bang, bang, dead, dead, hurt, hurt. I just, that stuff is just, I don't care for it. It's stupid.
Okay.
So for me, this was a movie I wouldn't recommend. I'd probably give this a 3 or a 4 out of 10, only because the ending isn't that high. But I would say avoid this one.
So the action isn't even that good in this.
I just wasn't a fan of it. I just thought it was long, it was boring, it was dull, it was predictable, and it just wasn't really like, a good action film in my opinion. I've seen better action films than this. Easy.
Okay. What about Hostiles?
Now, Hostiles was a film. We've seen Native American films before. This isn't like this is the first time we've ever seen a film like this, but it kind of is because it takes place around 1800s. Civil War soldiers, or not Civil War, Union soldiers might be the better term. And Christian Bale's character basically is someone who's about to get out of the army and is told, you need to take this, chief and some of his family to, Valley of the Bears, Michigan, to get him to his resting place before he dies of cancer. And Christian Bale at first is like, no, I'm not doing that. I hate this guy. F this guy. I'm not doing it. You can't make me. Then pretty much his officer says, you do it, or guess what? I'm going to kick you out of the army. You're not going to eat your pension. So he's pretty much like told, you have to do this. You don't want to do it too damn bad. You have to. And as the film progresses, what's kind of cool is it's I think one of Christian Bale's better roles, because the character kind of over time realizes, hey, you're not actually my enemy. You're actually a better person than I thought you were. And so he kind of grows and develops as a character. One of his soldiers at one time goes, you know what? Because a number of them feel really bad because they followed orders, but they did a lot of bad things to Native Americans. And some of them really are like, hey, we feel like terrible. We have to carry these demons with us because we did these horrible, horrible things. Really, in a nutshell, didn't do anything wrong to us. You meant us.
So basically, it's sort of. Are you saying it explores the kind of the guilt of the Union soldiers and the atrocities against Native Americans during that period in the 1800s?
Yeah, and you know what? The ending, the movie as it progresses, it gets a little. It's not necessarily a happy film by any means, but this isn't a happy topic of our history, to be honest. It's just not. But but definitely, as far as I've seen of Christian Bale lately, it's one of his better roles. It was a pretty good film. Yeah. It's a little long, but again, it didn't really drag on.
Was there bad blood with Christian Bale's character and the Native American characters over what?
Well, the main character, he was called Yellow Hawk.
Right.
There was bad blood because when he was younger and Christian Bale's character was younger, he saw Yellow Hawk slaughter some of his men right in front of him. So there was bad blood. And
Yellow Hawk is Wes Studi.
Yes, and that was the bad blood. That was where he was like, I don't want to help him because I think he's just a freaking murderer. I don't want to help him. But as time goes on, it kind of is one of those films where it goes from, hey, you think the Native Americans are the bad guys, to where really we're the bad guys. I'm
surprised this movie
That's basically what happens.
In January, the director is Scott Cooper, who directed Crazy Heart with Jeff Bridges and Black Mass with Johnny Depp.
And it also has in it, God, what's his name? The guy, he was in Hell or High Water with Chris Pine. He's in it, and he's pretty good in it, actually.
There's Scott Shepard, Jesse Plemons, Stephen Lang. It's got a pretty good cast.
Yeah, and it was a pretty good film. I'd give it about maybe a 7 or 7.5 out of 10. Right. It wasn't perfect, but it was definitely I enjoyed it more than I thought I would. And it's also got there's a guy in there, one of the Native Americans who's been in a lot of movies. He was in Joe Dirt. He was in he's been in a lot of different films. He was in Smoke Signals.
Can you help me out? With that? Because Joe Dirt is not exactly
well, he was the guy in Joe Dirt where he was selling the fireworks, and Joe Dirt tells him you should sell better stuff than what you're selling. That was a Native American. He was in that. He was in Smoke Signals, actually. No, not you.
Wes Studi? Are you talking about Wes Studi?
No, it's another guy, I think. And he was also in Wind Talkers with Nicolas Cage, I believe.
Adam.
Yeah, I can't remember his name, but he's been in a lot of different things. He's been in a lot of movies over the years, so it's kind of fits him in this movie.
Adam Beach.
That might be it. Might be it.
He played Blackhawk.
Yes. Yeah, okay, he was really good in this, and I just like him as an actor. I've seen him in a lot of things over the years.
Yeah, he was in. Wind Talker is not a very good film, but he has been in quite a few.
I liked Wind Talkers. I thought it was good. But anyway, so he was really good in this. Like I said, it wasn't a perfect film either, but it was actually better than I thought it was going to be. I liked it more than I thought I would. So, it was a good film.
Look, we're not exactly getting the creme de la creme this month, but there have been a couple decent films. I thought Paddington 2 was like really, and it's like, and Paddington 2 is like one of the best reviewed movies in a while. Actually, really? If you look at the reviews, it's been getting utterly fantastic reviews, and I thought 12 Strong was pretty okay.
Definitely better than I thought it was going to be. That's for sure. Definitely.
Okay, so moving right along
into TV news,
TV stuff. So we have so Beyond on Freeform. What is this? Is this the show in its first season? Is it a new season on Freeform? What's going on?
It's in its second season, and I originally discovered this show, I want to say 2 years ago.
All right.
At Stan Lee's LA Comic Con. I got to actually interview, I think it's Berkeley Duffield, I think is his name.
Okay.
The main star of this.
I'm looking it up right now. Yeah. Berkeley Duffield, yeah.
Yes, I got an interview with him.
A young man wakes up from a 12-year coma to discover new abilities that come to propel him into the middle of a dangerous so it kind of sounds like a science fiction-y Jason Bourne.
It's science fiction drama, and it's a show that I actually end up liking a lot more than I thought I would, and I was pumped for season 2. And so far, season 1, basically he's discovering, okay, he's got these powers. What are they? How does he use them? He had this thing with Willa, and slowly kind of realizing, like, he's not who he was.
What kind of powers does he have now?
He's got, like, basically where he's somehow, like, when he's asleep, he'll like wake up in the woods, so he'll somehow teleport. He still doesn't really fully understand that one. He does have where when he gets really angry, he can, like, make stuff, like, float around him, and, like, people fly away. So he has that
telekinesis.
Yes, he kind of has that. And so the first season, he's basically like, okay, I have these powers. I'm not sure what they are and how to use them, and kind of how to deal with them. And Willa and this, like, Black Sky organization. This season starts.
Who is Willa?
Willa is a girl that he supposedly, in the time he was in the coma, they had this relationship.
When he was in a coma, he had a relationship with her?
Well, he went to this other place that was like, he went there when he was in his coma for 12 years. He didn't remember it at first. So in the first season,
was she like his nurse or caretaker?
No, she was just someone who was, like, he bonded with in there, and then they've met in the real world. They have a relationship now.
How did he bond with her in a coma?
He went to some other place. It was like another dimension or something, right? When he
was like a what? Like a mind reality dimension, or
something like that.
Was it telepathic?
I don't know. They still haven't fully explained that. But anyway, so in the first season, we deal with all of that and the Black Sky organization, all that stuff. And now in season 2, it starts where he's trying to just have a normal life, have a job, have the relationship with Willa, and just be normal. But what we're also finding out in season 2 so far, in the first 2 episodes, which aired last Thursday, is he may not be the only one who has powers now. We're finding out there may be others. So we're finding that out a little bit, which is kind of interesting. So that's kind of...
Does he have any of his memories or recollection again, or what?
Yeah. He's getting more in focus now with who he is. But like I said, his parents still don't really know about it. His brother does know about it. Willa knows about it, and so it's a show that has started off pretty strong, and it's a real big hit on Freeform. I really like it so far, and it's definitely a show I recommend checking out.
All right, Jay. I haven't watched the show yet, so give me the hard sell. Why do I need to watch Beyond right now?
It's definitely a sci-fi show that I haven't really seen before. It's really unique. It's different. Unique. the characters are really good. You know, like Holden Matthews is just an amazing character who, you know, I think some people could relate to just what he's going through, like not only being a teenager, but trying to like, you know, kind of find his identity and, you know, develop and, you know, remember and all that stuff. And like I said, this season just trying to have a normal life. You know, it's not easy for him to do that, but he's like, hey, I went through all this stuff in season one. I'd like to just like have a job, have a relationship, have my family, which he has back, you know, and just try to like, you know, kind of grow as a person and just move on from what happened in season one, right? So it's really cool in that respect. And I just really like the characters. And like I said, the story, there's a lot of mystery every episode. There's a lot of like, you know, so there's a lot of that and like what's going on and what's going to happen next. So that's why I would recommend it.
So the other one you've been raving about is Grownish.
Mm-hmm.
This is a spin-off of TV's Blackish.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is another freeform show. You've been raving about it. So why is this a good show that people need to watch?
You know, the reason
second season.
I really like this show, first of all, it did get a second season order already, which doesn't surprise me, honestly. They just announced that last week it's getting a season 2 already, after only airing like 3-4 episodes. And why I personally like this show, why I think people should watch it, is because it does a good job showing the comedic and the real side of, you know, the college experience, you know, where you're trying to figure out who you are, your identity, friends, you know, what do you want to do with your life, all that stuff, and where you want to go. And it is a good place, at least even for me. Like, you know, I went twice, but each time, you know, you do kind of, you want to grow and develop and kind of become an adult. So it's really good in that respect. It does a real good job. Zoe is a great character because she is really someone where, like, you know, she's just like, she's on her own for the first time in her life, you know, which a lot of people in college are. They're like, hey, you're not living with your parents. You're not, you know, living, you know, in their house. Sometimes you may, like, you know, you're in a dorm, you're in a new place, you don't really know anybody, and how, like, you know, she kind of, like, you know, makes friends and just tries to, like, you know, really grow up in college. So that's why I really rave about it. And it's just a show that I can relate to a lot of it, you know, just the things that have happened already. You're like, yeah, in college, you are going to go through that stuff. Some people, like some of the characters, like, hey, they're trying to figure out their identity, you know, are they this, are they that, straight, bi, whatever, you know, others, like, you know, trying like, you know, like, hey, drinking more, partying more, and at the same time, you know, trying to be like, hey, yeah, you want to do that stuff,
self-discovery,
but you also have class too, so like trying to juggle, like, you know, being your own adult, like, where, hey, you can basically be up till 5 in the morning every night if you want, but if you do that, you're probably going to flunk out because you're like, hey, you know, you're not, so you're your own adult. No one's going to tell you you have to go to class or this or that, whatever. So it does a very good job with the college experience.
Right. Newfound, you know, how you adjust to that newfound independence. All right. So moving on to TV animation. So first up, we got some new Spider-Man episode, the new Marvel's TV Spider-Man. So they started a 4-parter, The Rise of Doc Ock, or Dr. Octopus. So we got the first 2 parts last weekend, and this weekend we're going to get the second 2 parts. I just got the screeners for the next 2 episodes, which let's see, that's Rise of Doc Ock 3 and 4.
Yes, which I got to, but I haven't watched.
First we're gonna do parts 1 and 2. So in parts 1 and 2, so Otto Octavius, who is a student at Horizon with Peter.
I thought he was a professor. Am I wrong?
Yeah, right. You're right. But yeah. he's a professor that's the same age as Peter. That you see. So he's in an explosion in the robotic tentacles are fused to his body.
Kind of like it happens in the second movie, kind of.
Right. So basically, Spider-Man tries to make him into a hero,
an ally. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's kind of like, it's sort of like a bit inspired, I think, by Superior Spider-Man. This was a storyline where, for a temporary amount of time, Dr. Octopus had control of Peter Parker Spider-Man's body, and he tried to become a hero. It sort of went awry. So what did you make of the first 2 parts of the storyline and getting to see the new animated Dr. Octopus?
You know, the two things I liked best about these first two parts, and I couldn't find pictures of them sadly, was getting to see that Crimson character was really cool.
Yeah.
That was really cool, really menacing, definitely different. They put a new spin on that, I think. So I really liked how they did that. And I really liked how they did the lizard in the second episode. That was really, really cool. The whole thing with, like, you know, Kurt Connors and the lizard, it was great to see that, see a new version of that. And
And a new version of Dr. Octopus.
true. And it was interesting to see. You know, I really did like in the second episode, especially where they tried to do the whole "let's the three of us work together," and it was kind of predictable it wasn't going to work, but it was kind of a bummer at the same time, you know. And I just really do like seeing, you know, Miles Morales and Peter work together in this. I like it when they do that. It's kind of cool to see the two Spider-Mans working together. For me, it's new because I haven't seen the previous Spider-Man cartoons, and yeah, it was just cool to see the three of them work together, and then him going with Osborn was kind of a bummer, but you know.
Here's what I like about the show. I like just seeing like the familiar characters, but new situations. Like they've kind of put a new twist on everything, Dr. Octopus included. So we're seeing familiar characters, familiar ideas, but they've been rewritten in different ways. Because look, we've seen these stories told many different ways before. Or we've seen them told a certain way before. So I don't really think, you know, look, you can't really tell the same story again like Ultimate Spider-Man or Spectacular Spider-Man as much, you know, as much as people like those shows. If you're, you know, this is a new series, you can't just remake the same thing over and over. They're doing something different, and I like what they've been doing so far. Hopefully, I don't know if the show is going to get renewed, but I hope it does.
I want to say it did get a second season already, didn't it?
No, we haven't heard anything. I don't know what's
because I know Tangled the series did. I know DuckTales did. I know Big Hero 6.
right.
I thought this did too.
No, not yet. Guardians of the Galaxy is getting a new season that's based on
Yeah.
The theme park ride at Disney.
Mission Breakout. That's
Mission
gonna be
Breakout.
awesome. Yeah,
So they're developing that. I don't know if Avengers Assemble is gonna come back after season 4 either. Did you see any of the new Avengers Assemble? They've been airing like the whole the Secret Wars story right now.
I haven't had a chance to, no, but I did see that they had.
Yeah.
I saw they had Haley Atwell on there though, which was kind of cool. I thought.
Yeah, she played Peggy Carter again. Yeah, that was a good episode.
I wish they'd bring that show back. I want to see that show.
My phone's ringing right now. Sorry, everyone. So, so Avengers Assemble. They've been like they're on Battle World now, and they're dealing with. The phone's ringing. I'm just. It's so weird. So Battle World. They're on Battle World. They're fighting like they're fighting the Beyonder, and a bunch of different heroes have shown up. Iron Fist showed up. Moon Knight showed up. Those were cool episodes. They're teaming up with Loki. I've been enjoying that a lot. So hopefully it'll be a good end of the season. I'm looking forward to see what they do with Mission Breakout, Guardians of the Galaxy, and the rest of. You know what I really like though. I think Robbie Daymond is a great Spider-Man in this show more than anything. I think he's been doing a great job.
I think it's kind of cool too when they've had Patton Oswalt show up as Uncle Ben. I love that. He's
really great. Cool. Yeah, he's surprisingly good as Uncle Ben, don't you think?
Yeah, I do. I really do think so. Yeah. And
you know what's also who voices Norman Osborn?
Yeah, it's I want to say Josh Keaton. Right?
It's Josh Keaton who has voiced Spider-Man many times in the past, including Spectacular Spider-Man. Okay, so
someone on Voltron. I thought who was he on Voltron?
He's Shiro on Voltron.
Yeah, that's right.
On the new Voltron show.
Yeah.
All right. So speaking of Voltron and Netflix, so you want to talk about what is it? The Trolls animated series?
Yeah, Trolls: The Beat Goes On, which. It's funny when I heard
what is this? A sequel to the movie, a continuation, or what?
It's more of a continuation of the movie, is what it is.
Why? Why, Jay?
Here's the thing. About this show. Let me explain. Here's the thing about this show. So when I heard of this show,
why would you even watch such a show, Jay?
Because I liked the movie. I can't help myself. Okay?
Why did you like the movie?
because I like the songs, I like the characters. I can't help myself. Okay, I liked the
look. If you look,
I liked
Troll
the
was
holiday
a whole.
special they did. I wrote about it. I like the show. Okay, I like the movie.
Look,
But the
I'm
sequel,
not
I
going
can't
to
wait to
judge
see
you
it.
if you like Troll dolls when you were a kid. I'm not going to like you. You know, we all like, you know, you like what you
No,
like.
that wasn't true. My sisters had them, but I wasn't too big in troll dolls. But
Right.
the movie, I actually liked more than I thought.
Right.
I saw it twice. The music was good, so I enjoyed it. So I was like, when they're doing a cartoon, I was like, you know what? It's a little weird because there's no one from the movie at all. But I was like, hey, I'll ask for screeners. I got them, and I really have to say, in a nutshell, it's not a bad show. Is it going to be for everyone? Absolutely not. But it's kind of cool because you get to see definitely more of the world of trolls. That's for sure. You get to see stuff you didn't see in the movie. You
Is
get
it
to
the
see
same characters?
It's the same characters, not the same actors, but the
Right.
same characters.
Same characters.
You get to see a bit more of the Bergens, which is kind of cool. And the music isn't that bad in this, so I enjoyed it. I mean, it wasn't a bad show. It's really only 6 episodes, 2 episodes each, so it's 2 11-minute episodes each. The animation isn't that bad. It's a little silly, but you know what? I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the show. I liked it. I was like, you know what? It's not a bad show. It's not. So if you were a fan of the movie, you'll probably enjoy this show.
If Sony makes an emoji TV series, would you watch that?
God no.
So emoji characters in the movie is where you draw the line, but you will watch the Troll movie and the Troll. The Beat Goes On
and the holiday special, yes.
All right, I mean, so that's out there on Netflix.
And more TV news too. We need to talk about. They announced when season 4 of Star Wars Rebels is coming.
Oh yeah, so they had a new trailer. We got the mid-season trailer for Star Wars Rebels. That's finally coming back in February. It's funny we got that trailer before Han Solo. I think a little bit, but
they are going to have the Emperor there. They said, and Ian
McDiarmid is coming back to voice the Emperor. But it looks like he's going to be there in like a vision or a dream. It doesn't look like he's really there.
Maybe. And then they also showed
Kanan gets a haircut.
Yeah, and what's interesting about this show, because they're kind of doing like I think 2 episodes each week. So
so they're going to do
March
3
or something
weeks.
Like that.
So here's what they're going to do. They're going to do 2. They're going to premiere the back half of the season. 2 episodes the following weekend, and then the weekend after that will be a 90-minute finale.
Yeah,
so that'll be that'll be the last 3 episodes of the series. So yeah. So they're going to burn them all out.
I really do think it sounds pretty dire in the trailers, so it is going to probably be like we've kind of been saying, almost everybody dies except maybe Hera, but we'll see.
Hera, we only know that Hera, Chopper, and the Ghost will be around after this series for sure. Besides that, it looks like Grand Admiral Thrawn is going to try and like do an orbital bombardment. Looks like he's going to just try to destroy like the capital city of Lothal. So it looks like that. It looks like Ezra will go. He's probably going to go back to the Jedi Temple, and it looks like he's going to find something relating to the character of Mortis from the Clone Wars. So there's going to be some stuff with that. It looks like Zeb is going to fight that little guy, that little assassin Rook. And guess who voices Rook? It's Warwick Davis.
Yeah, I remember that. And because just like when what we saw last on Lothal, things are so dire on Lothal. That's probably where most of them are going to probably bite the bullet. Probably.
Yeah, I think.
Because things are really, really bad there.
Kanan and Ezra have to die. They're going to die. Maybe Sabine and Zeb do not, but I think definitely Kanan and Ezra are going to have to die.
Here's a question. Do you think if Sabine... Would she just change her name, maybe, do you think? Was for safety?
I don't think she would change her name. Unless she went
on... Because we know she still has the Darksaber. We see her with the Darksaber in this trailer.
No, she... Did she...
I thought the trailer they show her with it. I thought they did.
No. She gave it to the other... She gave it to that other Mandalorian earlier in the season.
Well, I fear if Zeb goes against that assassin, he's going to either get wounded really bad or maybe killed. It's just the reality.
Possibly.
He might even be one of the first to go. It wouldn't shock me if he were one of the first to go.
But it looks like we at least know that Kanan and Hera will get reunited at some point, and I think Kanan is going to die in a couple episodes. Really, I think he's
one of the Inquisitors. Maybe. Do you think who's going to kill him?
I think he's going to sacrifice himself to save Hera. I don't. Maybe it's Thrawn or
that actually might make sense. I could see that happening. Him sacrificing himself for her. I could see that. Sure.
And then I think
we know there's still the two Inquisitors, right? They're still around, right?
Who?
We saw those two Inquisitors. One was voiced by who was it? The girl who was Buffy. She voiced one of the Inquisitors.
He's dead.
She is?
Seventh sister is dead.
Okay.
I think there's one Inquisitor that might be still around.
Hmm.
I think two of them died when they were fighting against Darth Maul in the second season. I think there's the helicopter, the guy who uses like kind of to fly and spin around. I think that guy's still alive.
Okay.
I'd have to go back. It was a couple years ago, so I'd have to go back and watch that.
So we know there's still at least one Inquisitor around with that assassin.
There could be others, and there could be others, that we don't know about.
That's true. Because, or maybe even one of the assassins could we haven't seen Boba Fett. Does he exist in this universe?
Yeah.
Okay, so he does. And those other assassins we saw in what was
Boba Fett's probably not going to be in the show, though. I don't think.
We saw like all those assassins, episode 4 and episode 5. Any of them could show up, right?
Maybe.
Or maybe, yeah, because like it just seems like I wonder who would take out Ezra. That's my question.
I think it's gonna. I mean, if I were to make a prediction, I would probably predict Thrawn.
But in the assault, do you think maybe that might be how he dies in the assault?
No, I don't. I think here's what I think is going to happen. I think Thrawn is going to start like his destruction of like Lothal, and I think Ezra is going to do something to like sacrifice himself to save the planet because it's like his home. It's his home planet. So I think he's going to do that, and I think and probably try to save the rest of his friends. Basically.
I just don't see how he could save Lothal at this point. It's so dire there.
I think he's going to go into the temple and unlocks. He's going to sort of meet Palpatine and be tempted by like the ghost or vision of Palpatine, and I think he's going to unlock some sort of hidden power, kind of like the Sith station from the second season finale. And I think he's going to use some sort of special ability. I don't know that's going to happen, but I think he's going to do something to like make the Empire on Lothal like get eliminated. Basically.
Now we know that it's Kanan, whose real name is Doom.
Caleb Doom, right?
Has some connection.
One of the episodes is called Doom, so I think
and he's got a connection to the wolves. We know that, right?
Right.
And right now they've got their new little.
But the wolves are flying death flags for him. They're basically saying, "Hey, Kanan, you're gonna die." So here's the titles for February 19th. Excuse me. February 19th, we're getting Jedi Knight and Doom. D-U-M-E. That's Kanan's real name. February 26th, we get The Wolves in a Door and A World Between Worlds. And then March 5th is the finale, A Fool's Hope, Family Reunion, and Farewell. So to me, it just sounds like bring a tissue, folks, because people are gonna die.
Because we know that Hera is still captive right now. We know that.
She's still captive. Kanan will reunite with her. We know that. And he shaved his beard, shaved his hair.
And he stopped wearing the mask too, so he just has to
Yeah, I think Kanan's dead meat. You cannot have two Jedi around at the start of the original trilogy. You can't. Because how can you have two Jedi around there who never interacted with Luke or Yoda? They can't be alive. For episodes 4, 5, and 6 to make sense, Ezra and Kanan have to be dead. There's no way they're surviving.
But I don't know how Sabine would survive. That's my only thing. I don't know how that.
Why can't she survive?
No, I'm not saying she couldn't. I'm just not sure how she would. Again, with how things are
Oh,
so
I think
dire in the fall.
I think, she'll probably meet up with Hera and they'll probably escape. We know Hera and the Ghost are going to escape. So I think uh, the heroes that are on Lothal and Ezra are going to come up with some kind of daring plan to get rid of the Empire on Lothal and liberate the planet, and that'll be the end of the series. I think will be the liberation of Lothal from the Empire. I think is what's going to happen.
And then, do you think Agent Callus is going to survive? I think he's going to get killed.
Yeah. It wouldn't. I think you can kill him because again, he's not a character who's been around in the. He's not in Rogue One. He's not around in the original trilogy. So I think it makes sense for him to die. Yes, and I think that would be a good way to kind of close off his character arc.
And Clancy Brown's character will probably get killed too.
Maybe. Depends.
Probably. He's been close to death already.
Rex, I think Rex, he's gonna live. He's gonna live.
I don't know. He's been pretty close to death already, and he's had targets on his back.
He's gonna live. He's gonna live because they're already saying he's one of the troopers on Endor. Is basically what they're saying.
Oh.
So he's gonna make it apparently to the Battle of Endor. So I think he's gonna live. I think Sabine will probably live in. I think Sabine will go back to her family on Mandalore and be with them, and I think Zeb will just be. He'll be so broken up about the death of Ezra and Kanan that he's going to go back to his people on their hidden colony and watch over them. If he lives.
Wait. I thought his people were all dead. Am I wrong?
Most of them die, but he found some survivors, and they found kind of like a hidden planet where they can stay out of the Empire's reach. So, and I think that's
right. That was like season 2 or something like that, wasn't it?
Right, I believe. Yeah. So I think if Zeb lives, I think that's what's going to happen with him. So the characters who don't die, they're going to basically go their separate ways.
Yeah.
So kind of like, because look, farewell. We're not just saying farewell to the show. We're saying farewell to the family of the Ghost Crew. So I am avidly awaiting these episodes starting February 19th, Jay. This has been a fantastic series, and I can't wait to get to the end of it. What do you think?
It's a little bit of a bummer it's coming to an end, but yeah.
Yeah, we got 4 good seasons out of it. And
I know. I just wish we could have gotten more, to be honest.
I mean, I think considering it was set 5 years before the original movie, you couldn't. I mean, I think it wouldn't have made sense to keep it going past A New Hope, basically.
Yeah,
I don't think.
Right. Still, it's a bummer it's coming to an end.
It's been good, and hopefully we can get a new animated show, or we're going to get a live action Star Wars TV series at some point.
You know what they should do? If they do another cartoon,
what?
Do another cartoon animated series after episode 6, because there's a 30-year gap. Between
that's what I want.
And episode 7, there's 30 years. I'd love to see that.
Do you want to hear my idea for the next animated series?
Sure.
I want to see Luke's Jedi Academy, basically.
Yeah, that'd be nice. They should do that.
So here's what it would be. It would be a younger Luke Skywalker, a younger Ben Solo, Kylo Ren as his star pupil, and it would be all of his other students. So it would be the story of him training like young Ben Solo, basically.
Okay.
So,
and not just that, but I'd like to see where, of course, R2, C-3PO,
you would get all
more
that.
of Leia and Han together. That'd be great to see.
Right.
Maybe some more of Lando Calrissian would be kind of cool to see. And what we know, remember, Admiral Akbar was still alive in episode 7, wasn't he? Admiral Akbar.
He died in episode 8.
Yeah, but he was in episode 7 and 8, and then we also saw, I want to say in 7 or 8, we saw Lando Calrissian's one little friend who was with him in the Millennium Falcon episode 6.
It's either Nia Nub or Nine Nub, and
something like that.
He's still alive too. Look, that's not important. The important thing is like young Luke Skywalker, young Kylo Ren, and the story of his ill-fated Jedi Academy.
And what they should do too. I'd love to see that story where there's the clone of Palpatine. Luke has to go dark to stop him, and then the 2 kids have to pull him back to the light.
That's a Legends expanded universe story.
I don't care. I'd like to see a cartoon of it.
Why?
Because it's an awesome story. That's why.
That's that we're never going to see that. We're never going to see that.
And you have to remember, if they want to follow that, they need to do the twins, not just Ben.
What do you mean?
Originally in the stories, in the books,
there are no twins. They had one son. Okay, there are no twins.
No, there were twins. In the books they had where Leia and Han had twins.
Those old books are no longer canon. They're called legends now.
I'm just saying they should do a cartoon of it.
Why?
Because that's why.
Jason and there is no Jason and Jaina Solo. There are no twins. Why are you stuck on that?
I would rather see that in a cartoon than just Ben.
But we can't see that because they had a baby. They had one baby. What do you mean? What is that?
I don't know. I just
do you understand? All right. Do you understand that Disney bought Lucasfilm in 2012?
That's a fair enough point. Fine.
All right. Do you understand how they said we have a new canon now, and the old expanded universe books are basically getting tossed out? You know about this, right?
I know. It's still a bummer.
All right. Yes, it's a bummer, but that means okay, you can bring Grand Admiral Thrawn back, but you can't bring back Jason and Jaina. So they had 3 kids in those books. Mm-hmm. They had Jason, Jaina, and Anakin.
Now here's a question: is Shadows of the Empire still part of canon, or is that not canon anymore either?
They haven't. As far as we know, it's not.
Really?
The Golden Sun, Prince Shizor's organization is canon. Mm-hmm. Shadows of the Empire is not, unless
Now wait a minute, though. That one, if memory serves me, there was a point where Luke was. When did that one take place? Where was that?
Between Empire and Return of the Jedi.
Okay. That might be a little interesting to see a bit of animated of, or did you see that in Clone Wars?
Well, look, I mean, look, they're not gonna reanimate old stories. Okay, it's gonna be new stories.
Because they did a video game on that actually wasn't.
Yeah, they did a video game. But my point is this: as you said, we have 30 years in between Return of the Jedi and The Force Awakens. So here's what we do know. We do know at some point Luke Skywalker started his own Jedi Academy, and he tried to train Ben Solo, Kylo Ren, to become a Jedi, and he had a group of other students. I want to see that story because we haven't really seen that story get told yet. And
now the question is, if they did that story,
what right?
That story would it be where, because Empire gone and then somewhere along the line First Order comes around, Light?
Well, the villains wouldn't. The thing is, the First Order doesn't come around until later. The Empire is gone.
But there's still supposedly
there could still be bad guys. You can make them up. Make up new bad guys.
I mean, the Empire was not dead, but it was weakened. And is that where Thrawn originally came in?
No, Thrawn came in Rebels.
But I mean,
all right, in the old Legends stuff, that's where Thrawn came in, yeah. But not. It wouldn't be. Look, we're in new territory now. We're in new territory. The new territory would be the Empire's gone and they're reborn as the First Order, but we probably wouldn't see them yet. It would probably be new villains.
But Thrawn could be there because it wouldn't be crazy to think that Thrawn dies.
If Thrawn's still alive, but Thrawn
I wouldn't see why he wouldn't be.
If Thrawn is still alive, but there would be Imperial. Here's what happened.
Okay.
After the war ended, there were the remnants of the Empire. If they didn't go rejoin the First Order, they became warlords.
Okay.
So they were just they were terrorists basically. They were warlords trying to hold their control over the Imperial settlements and whatnot. So it would be it could be Imperial warlords, and maybe Thrawn is one of them. Unless Thrawn, but look, I think Thrawn's going to die on Rebels, so I don't think we're going to see him again.
I think he's too good of a villain to die on Rebels.
I think he's going to die or suffer a major defeat.
I think that'd be a big mistake because Mads Mikkelsen is so good as him.
He's good. It's not Mads Mikkelsen. It's his brother.
Really?
Yeah. Mads Mikkelsen was Galen Erso in Rogue One.
Oh.
It's Lars Mikkelsen.
Okay.
It's Lars Mikkelsen is Thrawn.
Okay.
Um, I don't think. Look, maybe Thrawn becomes a warlord or something, but the point is, since you have 30 years of untapped material there, I want to see an animated series with Luke and young Kylo Ren, basically, and bring back Mark Hamill to voice Luke for this show.
Which he would do. Why wouldn't he?
I mean, yeah, exactly. Why? Because this would be Mark Hamill's chance to play kind of the Luke Skywalker we've always wanted. You know, a Jedi.
Although we've seen him a few times in the games, right? The computer games.
I guess, but not Mark Hamill playing him. You know, and
there was one of them where Mark Hamill did.
I want to see like Mark Hamill playing the Jedi Master Luke in a new animated show, because we didn't really get it in The Last Jedi, did we? We didn't really get much. So this would be sort of like the Clone Wars is that period in between Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith. This would be that period, 30 years, like almost 30 years of after Return of the Jedi, before The Force Awakens, basically.
Okay,
so you could have a lot. You could tell so many stories.
Yeah, I just wonder. I just kind of am bummed too, because they took out of canon too the thing with Luke and Mara Jade, right? That's no longer.
I mean, you could bring back Mara Jade, but it couldn't be the way she was in the old stuff. Yeah. In the old stories, Mara Jade was Emperor Palpatine's like apprentice, and she wanted to kill Luke at first, and then they eventually fall in love and get married.
And had a kid, right?
And they had a son named Ben. So you see what I'm talking about here. So you see, look, Ben Skywalker. There's no Ben Skywalker. It's Ben Solo now. So it's like, so what happens? You're so fixated on twins. The twins are no more. Okay, the Solo twins are no more, man.
Now here's a question though. If they did bring back the Mara Jade, Luke Skywalker thing, and say they did have a kid, it just wouldn't have to be named Ben. It could be named something else, right?
I mean, here's my problem with that. If you bring back Mara Jade and she had like a marriage with Luke Skywalker, and they like, why is that kid not around in the new trilogy? You know, I don't think that works.
He may show up in 9. Who knows, right?
I think specifically they avoided doing that in Episode 8 because Rian Johnson didn't want to do stuff like that.
And remember again, too, it's been such a big window, because isn't there supposedly a time, at least in the expanded universe, as it was, where him and Luke aren't exactly close anyway, right? They're not like best buddies.
Who?
Right? His son was became like Han.
No, not really.
Was he like a pirate or something like that, or a scrounger or a scavenger or something like that?
No. His son became like a Jedi.
Really? Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Weird. He and Luke went into exile together, and they kind of met like these kind of Sith outcasts, these other Sith exiles they had an uneasy alliance with, as I recall. It was weird. Look, the point is there's a lot of weird stuff that happened in expanded universe we're never going to see in this new timeline, basically. So all this, like, some of the stuff is going to get like Grand Admiral Thrawn. They brought back Grand Admiral Thrawn, but they rewrote him and they reappropriated him. They'll bring some stuff, characters, ideas back and reappropriate them in the new settings, but we're not going to see Jedi twins, Jason and Jaina. We're not going to see Anakin Solo. It's Ben Solo, and that's it. They had one baby.
But I do think it wouldn't be crazy to still see the Palpatine clone somehow, right?
Why? Why do you want to see a Palpatine clone?
But here's the reason why I'm saying that. Because that did happen shortly after the fall of the Empire, right?
In the old books, but those books basically never happened. Now,
I'm not saying they never happened, but they could do something like that, because it would be interesting, because like you think Palpatine's dead and no, he's not, and he was such a horrible threat.
There's no. Why do you want Palpatine back though? He's dead. Why can't we see? I want to see new villains, new characters, new bad guys. You know,
new bad guys are always a risk, though. They could be good, they could be really bad.
Kylo Ren is a great character.
I'm not saying he's not, but that was a risk.
Well, I mean, I would rather see. Look, Dave Filoni is a great writer. Look what he's done with Rebels.
Mm.
So I mean, all those are new characters.
I would think though, if they did a new Star Wars animated, wouldn't they do it on their streaming service like they're doing the live action one? Wouldn't you think?
It probably could, but we know they're going to do a new animated show. Rebels was so successful,
Mm-hmm.
and it has so many fans. They're going to do a new show wherever it is.
Mm-hmm.
But I think no, despite all our disagreements, I think we can both agree we want to see something set after episode 6, right? Ideally, is what
I wonder too, because Rian Johnson is still doing that trilogy, right?
Yeah.
Think he might do a trilogy in that time window? Do you think?
We don't know when it's going to be set. He hasn't
said. Speculation. I'm just wondering if he would.
I have no idea. I think it's going to be set after episode 9. Honestly.
Mm-hmm. Who knows?
I think episode 9 will be the last movie with the Skywalker, like the Skywalker legacy, and then after that they'll just do new characters.
I still think it'd be smarter if he did like around Knights of the Old Republic or something like that.
He's not. He already said he's not going to do that.
I know he's not, but I'm just saying, like doing like in that window way in the past.
Look, Knights of the Old Republic is a video game. He already said he wants to do new settings and new characters. It's going to be an area of the Star Wars galaxy that's never been explored before. That's all we know. We don't know when or where, but it's going to be something new that's never been explored. It might not even involve Jedi or Sith or dark side users at all. It might be some totally different idea. You never know.
I just can't wait till we learn more about that live action show. That's what I want to learn more of.
I think a live action show should also be set after episode 6 because I'm kind of tired of everything is set before A New Hope. I kind of want to get out of there,
Because the last live action anything we got Star Wars show was Ewoks, wasn't it?
The Ewoks TV movies I get.
Yeah, but that was like the last live action like Star Wars anything.
There was a TV series that was planned about 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And the ideas they had for it were going to be like a young Palpatine, basically.
But I think it got pulled, didn't it, or something?
It got pulled, yeah. Mm-hmm. So I would like to see a new show set after Return of the Jedi with like bounty hunters or something.
We'll see. Like
Boba Fett survives the Sarlacc pit, and he has like a team of bounty hunters.
I thought that didn't matter anymore. Is that still a part of canon?
We don't know. They haven't said.
Okay.
He could be. His armor is still around, so someone found his armor. We don't know what happened to the body. So they're just. I think Lucasfilm is just going to tease us about that forever. All right. So I think that about does it for us tonight. Anything else you wanted to share really quick, Jay?
Again, I'll just say, like I said in the beginning, definitely check us out on Facebook, on Twitter. I post this stuff on Tumblr. I have it on a YouTube channel.
Hollywood Purgatory on Facebook, Hollywood Purgatory on Twitter.
Yeah, our hashtag there is Holly Purgatory. Holly Purgatory are on there, and definitely just start liking us, start following us, sharing our videos more. We like what we're doing. We want to get this info out to more people. Yeah, sharing it with more people. And next week, I know we're going to talk about the next 2 episodes of The Rise of Doc Ock. I will probably talk about the next episodes of Grownish and Beyond, which air on Wednesday and Thursday. Yeah. And I don't know if there's any movies coming out this week that are really a big deal, besides Maze Runner: The Death Cure, which I've heard is terrible.
We're still. I mean, we'll probably things are developing, and we'll have more to talk about.
Definitely.
It's pretty much a dead zone until 50 Shades Freed and Black Panther. Don't you think?
Black Panther, I'm more excited for. Don't
you think 50 Shades Freed is just going to be like one of the best movies of all time? Yeah. All right. I'm Jeffrey Harris. You can check me out on 411mania.com. Jay, where can people find you online?
The Good Men Project on the Arts and Entertainment section. Like I said, I do movie reviews on there, TV show reviews lately, things like that,
Also, check out my videos if you go to TGN Star Wars and TGN Overwatch on YouTube. My videos are up on there right now. I've been doing a lot of videos on the Solo movie and the Star Wars universe, and also the hot video game Overwatch. Next one coming up is I've been doing a lot of character history and lore videos, and the next one is history and lore of Tracer. So check
and
that
that's
out.
Another thing next week too. Hopefully that we'll have a trailer for Solo, so we can talk about that. Hopefully,
we don't know. We don't know. I don't want.
Fingers crossed.
Let's not promise that, because we have no idea if we're going to see that.
I'm not promising. I'm just saying hopefully.
Hopefully we'll see a. So yeah, hopefully we'll see a Solo trailer. So thank you everyone, and have a good night.
Adios.